to me, we have to educate the public about spina bifida more consistently, because when I was doing some information discovery, I discovered that there is a huge percentage of babies who are born with spina bifida, mostly in the US, that is the United States of America. And so it gives me that edge to educate the public about spina bifida so that we can create first-time parents awareness to the condition. Spina bifida is a neural tube defect, and it is the most commonest neural tube defect in children. Mostly babies are born with it. Okay, so in this video I will be talking about the definition for spina bifida. I will talk about the causes, and I will give you the types of it, and then we can see whether we can discover some of the treatment protocols to you in this particular video. But before then, kindly subscribe to this channel if you are a new member here, and don't also forget to put on your notification bell so that you will always be notified whenever a new video is released. And don't also forget to give us a thumbs up. Hello, welcome back. So let me talk about the condition more extensively. I will talk about the definition. Yes, if somebody wants to know about spina bifida, you have to be aware of something we call neural tube. The neural tube plays a vital role in the formation of the brain and the spinal cord, especially during the 28th days of gestation. This structure needs to form. There is a cell or group of cells that work together to form the brain and the spinal cord. And in the 28th days of gestation, if something happens which can be related to environmental factors, maternal factors, and that of genetic factors, it makes the neural tube unable to form properly. And when that occurs, the baby will have the lumbar spine unable to close properly. And so there is always a gap created around that area. Now, this spina bifida is most common in babies who are born in the United States of America. Data published suggests that in out of 4 million babies born, about close to 1,500 to 2,000 babies are having spina bifida in the United States of America. So this necessitates that we create more awareness about spina bifida so that first-time parents can note some major features about the condition to detect the condition early and seek medical intervention as early as possible. You have to know that spina bifida, as the name is projected on the screen, are two words, okay? And these two words literally means in Latin as split spine. So it creates an impression that there is going to be a gap between the spine, which I have highlighted to you that it always occurs at the lumbar region. But how does this thing really occurs at all? The cause of spina bifida is unknown, that is idiopathic, but scientists have also noted that a lot of factors, including environmental factors, nutritional factors, and that of genetic factors. So how do these things cause spina bifida in your baby? Regarding the nutritional factors, during the gestation period, if a mother lacks folic acid in the body, baby is most likely to developing spina bifida, because most of the cases of this spina bifida is in relation to mothers who lack folic acid when they were pregnant, okay, according to research. And then regarding the environmental factors, it has also been established that if a mother is exposed to certain chemicals within the environment, whether smokes from cigarettes, tobacco, and other harmful smokes from factories, or even harmful drugs like teratogenic drug, the mother is also most likely to giving birth to a baby having spina bifida. And then with the genetic factors, all mothers who have given birth to a child or children having spina bifida are most likely to giving birth to a child having the condition again. So these are a few factors that can result your baby to developing spina bifida. But note that they are not just actual causes. Okay, the causes are known, which is idiopathic, but risk factors that can result to spina bifida are those that I have just highlighted. So now let's progress to the types of spina bifida. There are three main types of spina bifida. We have three main types of spina bifida, and the first one is occulta, which happens to be the mildest form, and the moderate form is meningocele, and the severest form is myelomeningocele. Let me take time and explain these three types for you to get the understanding very well. So stay tuned, I'll come back with more information. Thank you. So now let me talk more detailed about the types. I'll start with the occulta. The occulta is the mildest form, okay, and it has these features. There is obvious gap between the spine, which can be more visible under X-ray, but there is no protrusion to show outside the spine, and so the baby often has reduced sensation around that area, and there is also a birthmark around that area, and tufts of hair also can be seen, but there is no neurological symptom associated with the mildest form of this type of spina bifida occulta. But when you go to the meningocele is coming with a protrusion, which is always a protrusion containing CSF, cerebrospinal fluid, but there is no spinal tissue involved. So the spinal cord is not involved in this protrusion, but the cerebrospinal fluid is accumulated and protrude through the gap created in the spine outside the body. In this type of spina bifida, because there is cerebrospinal fluid accumulated around that area, there can be a reverse movement which can accumulate on the brain and form hydrocephalus, okay, which can create a lot of neurological symptoms. It can also result to a lot of conditions that can affect the baby entirely. Regarding the myelomeningocele types, this is the most severest form, and it does not only come with the protrusion which contain the fluid, but as a result, your baby is likely to also having the spinal cord also protruded among that structure, okay. So there is spinal cord protrusion, and there is also a cerebrospinal fluid all accumulated around that area. So let's now look at how these things can also result to if care is not taken. Okay, so the complications can even be derived from the symptoms. So let me first talk about the symptoms, and then we can deduce the complications from that, okay. So the symptoms will depend on the type of spina bifida, okay. So these are the symptoms. The first one is theft of hair, and the second one is reduced sensation. There can also be a birthmark around the area, that is the lumbar region, and there can also be theft of hair around the area, and there can be reduced sensation and even lack of sweat around that area, especially when there is a case of spina bifida occulta. But regarding the two major ones, the symptoms can involve paralysis of the lower extremity, there can be hydrocephalus, there can also be bowel bladder dysfunction, and there can also be decubitus ulcer. There can also be spinal deformities such as scoliosis, and even foot deformity like clubfoot deformity. So if you look at these symptoms, you could see that physiotherapy will be an important part in the management of this spina bifida or neural tube defect. And so this necessitates that this video creates more emphasis on the need for physiotherapy in spina bifida management. Yes, so I will leave this question for you to answer in the comment section. That what do you think physiotherapy can do for a child having spina bifida? Because if you look at the symptoms highlighted, you can imagine we have a lot of physical deformities which will necessitate the need for physiotherapy. Yes, so I will leave that to you to answer in the comment section. Yes, as a physiotherapist, what can you do? But if you look at the symptoms, yes, it proves to me that physiotherapy profession will be very crucial when it comes to the management of spina bifida. Yes, if you look at scoliosis, clubfoot, if you look at even hydrocephalus, yes, it means physiotherapy will play a vital role, because as soon as the hydrocephalus is treated, hydrocephalus has to do with a buildup of fluid in the brain and making the head of the baby enlarged. Okay, yes, so there is always a way out. Doctors will drain that fluid, and as a result, because the fluid was on the brain, if it is drained, there is going to be neurological symptoms. Yes, and that will necessitate that spina bifida will not only require physiotherapy, a lot of professionals will come in, so it will require multidisciplinary approach depending on the kind of complication the condition has resulted. Yes, so these neurological symptoms can either be cognitive impairments, it can either involve sensation problems, it can also delayed development. Okay, a lot of neurological symptoms can be involved, especially when your baby has hydrocephalus. And even aside that, the scoliosis needs to be intervened. Yes, there should be an intervention for the scoliosis, and this scoliosis has to do with abnormal postures the baby will be exhibiting because of the protrusion. Yes, the baby will not feel sleeping supine, and the baby would like to assume certain positions that will increase the baby risk for developing scoliosis. Okay, and the clubfoot has to do with neurological defects. Once the baby has the protrusion at the lumbar region, and there is a nerve that emanates from that area which supplies the lower extremity, that nerve will be impaired. Okay, there is going to be a problem with the nerve, and it cannot provide that ample sensation to the lower extremity, and the whole function of the extremity will be interrupted, thereby formation of bones and muscles and all that will be impaired as well. As a result, your baby can develop that clubfoot deformity. So we only have a major role to play in spina bifida based on the kind of symptoms the baby has presented with. So I will leave that to you to send me the protocols that you think physiotherapy will provide to help a baby having spina bifida. Thank you so much. This is the end of the video. My name is Thomas, but I would like you to subscribe to this channel and be part of the family before you go, okay, so that we can learn together and create more awareness. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.